Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to another edition of Striaght Shooting Sports Talk. I am your host, Dujane Bland. And today we're going to talk about the Monday night matchup between the Minnesota Vikings and the New York Giants. We're also going to take a look into this Dez Bryant thing, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on that. First, we're going to take a look at this Minnesota Vikings matchup. This has a really, really good storyline, very intriguing matchup for both teams. Giants could go and finish this game 3-1. Uh, the Vikings could be 4-0, and no one would have ever thought that the Vikings would have been in this position, having to lose their franchise quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater to that knee injury. They had to go and start the season um, with a backup quarterback that, we know what he brings to the table. Nothing that is, super substantial. And then they make that trade for Sam Bradford, and then he comes in and gets these guys wins, moves the ball, very effective without Adrian Peterson, making plays for this football team. And here they are at home. They're sitting 3-0 at home, and you got to give a lot of credit to this defense. This defense is a force to be reckoned with. They are second in the league in points allowed per game, only allowing 13.3 points per game. And that's pretty good for any team to be holding guys to 13 points. Um, they are able to move the ball. They're not rushing it very well with the 51 yards per game type deal. They're passing it kind of effectively, but they're putting up 21.3 points per game. So obviously, if your defense is holding people to 13 points and you can score 21, well, that looks like a win for you. The Giants, on the other hand, are allowing 20 points per game, and they're only scoring 21 points per game. So this has the makings of being a very close matchup, and something that I believe is going to come down to both defenses. And when I look at the Giants defense, I like a lot of the things and a lot of the moves that they have made. They have Olivier Vernon over there with the addition of the rookie back there, and what is it, Applewhite or Eli Apple. Uh, you know, they have some guys that can make plays. The question has been the consistency of their defense, being able to get consistent pressure. We know with Sam Bradford, pressure is always the key, and that's really with any quarterback. Although there are a lot of quarterbacks that can withstand pressure, can get out of the pocket, etc. Kind of like your Aaron Rodgers, your those guys that even I even put Dak Prescott in that realm where guys seem to get pressure on him. They move, they make plays with their feet and get the ball down the field. So we know that Sam Bradford's not a guy that can run. He's not a guy that's very fast that's going to run. Pressure does affect him with throwing the football, and that's something that the New York Giants needs to do is get a hold of him. They don't have a formidable running game. They're using a three-headed monster with McKinney and Asada. So, and they're mixing guys in and out. But as you can see, with Sam Bradford has done a lot to get Rudolph involved, and he's been missing. And now he's reemerged, and you got Diggs out there on the outside. He can play outside or inside. That's something that is going to be an interesting matchup with the Vikings offense and that Giants defense. Now we know what the Giants bring on the offensive side of the ball. Eli, Super Bowl winner. You have Odell Beckham Jr. I know, his attitude is volatile at times, but he's a passionate guy. They have a Shepard. out there as well, along with Victor Cruz. So they're going to have some, that defense is going to have some, a big task ahead of them for the Minnesota Vikings. How do you contain Odell Beckham Jr. And not allow him to beat you deep? And then you have a guy like Shepard who's doing an excellent job of route running, catching balls over the middle. You find Victor Cruz is also getting himself involved as well. But I think this is going to come down to turnovers. This is going to come down to turnovers, and we know that Eli Manning has thrown some inopportune turnovers that have cost him football games. You look back at the game with the Washington Redskins, he had turnovers that resulted into points that really was the telling factor of them losing that football game. And now you're coming in with a defense that is very tenacious. They're not at home. They're in Minnesota. Uh, they're going to have some consistency in the run game, and they're going to have to make smart decisions with the football and not turn it over. That's going to be vital for them to win this ball game. But I'm telling you, I like the Minnesota Vikings coming into this football game, and for various reasons, but first and foremost, that defense is just something else. We know when Eli gets pressure, when he gets hit, when he's not even taking sacks, he's just getting hit. He doesn't like it. And it shows up in his play when you are looking at his quarterbacking skills and what he's doing in delivering the football. It shows up big time, and he makes mistakes. Getting the ball out a little bit too early, sometimes just not even seeing the defender trying to get away from taking a sack or getting hit and making an ill-advised throw. So I think this definitely is something, a game that the Minnesota Vikings can very well win. Now, this could obviously go the opposite way because I'm not sure how well they can run the ball here with the Minnesota Vikings, but we did see that the Washington Redskins did have some success when they decided to stick with the run against this Giants defense. I really like what Sam Bradford's doing over there. I think they have just as much no one in this league is like Odell Beckham Jr., but they have some formidable weapons over there that can get the job done, that can stretch the field and can open this thing up for Sam Bradford to have success and for this offense to have success in running the football. Like I said, key is going to be pressure on opposing team's quarterback, and I think that whole entire unit over there with the Minnesota Vikings is what's going to get it done. And I believe that they're going to win this football game. I think it's going to be probably a 17-14 ball game, maybe a 24-17 type ball game. It's going to be a close one for sure. It will not be a blowout like we had Sunday night. That was awful. It will not be that. But it's going to be a very close game that I see the Minnesota Vikings pulling out and getting to 4-0, ladies and gentlemen. That's something. And hey, I said at the beginning of the year, I think this team has an opportunity to win this NFC North division. And it was looking a little shaky there, them losing Teddy Bridgewater, but Sam Bradford has come in and been quite formidable of a quarterback to continue to keep the ball rolling. Of course, we know what they had in that defense, and here we go. They could be 4-0 when the night is over. Now we're gonna get into talking about this whole Dez Bryant thing. It's a little bit irritating to me. Uh, I think Dez is getting a little bit of I won't say a little bit of a bad rap. He's getting a bad rap with this whole injury thing. And let's first start with him missing the MRI, not showing up to practice. If anybody has watched football since Dez has been in, especially over the last 2 years, this guy wants to win football games. He wants to be there for his teammates. He wants to be there to be able to contribute at the highest level possible. And even when he's not 100%, he still wants to contribute and thinks that he can be a factor in his team being able to win. Now, he was injured last year, spent most of last year out. And he doesn't want that to happen again. It's very obvious. Um, they have a quarterback in Dak Prescott that is getting the job done. And he wants to be there to contribute to see that that guy has the best opportunity to keep the ball rolling in a very close NFC East division. Now, I'm sure when he was scheduled to do this MRI, that the first thing that went through his mind is that he's hoping that it's not anything terrible, and maybe he didn't want to go because he didn't want to find out the truth, especially if it was a fracture, a break, maybe a tear in a MCL, PCL, um, and that would keep him out an extended amount of time or end his season, maybe a meniscus tear. He didn't want to find that out, and he probably went into a bit of a little bit of a depression, maybe confusion, um, and definitely not wanting to not be there for his team. That's really what the key is here. When Dez has been out on the field this year, he has 11 catches, 150 yards, one touchdown. Now, the numbers aren't staggering, but when he is out there on the field, he definitely opens it up for the rest of his teammates. That guy could be a decoy out there, and he opens it up because you have to respect Dez because you can just throw it up to him. He's got those ups to go up and grab it and snatch it down. Um, Now, with this whole missing meetings and all this report coming out about him missing meetings and all of that, I think it's a ploy or it's a reporter trying to drag Dez uh, in through the mud, so to speak. We saw against the 49ers, he was probably the biggest cheerleader on the sideline. He was doing a little bit of coaching over there with the wide receivers. Butler, very encouraging to Terrence Williams, but just there for his teammates. You see the passion that he has for football. You see the passion that he has for his football team and being a good teammate. I'm not really on the bandwagon of Dez Bryant being a divider. Early in his career, was his antics a little bit divisive? Yes, I think it was divisive, but he didn't understand how to channel his passion so that it would not be something that would be a distraction to the football team. And I don't think he's been that at all. And to get back to the meeting part of it, I don't care. I really don't care. That guy comes out and shows up on Sunday, and if I don't hear coaches talking about it, if I don't hear Jerry Jones talking about it, if I don't hear players snarking about it, then it's really nothing for us to be talking about. I mean, really. And honestly, that's something that should be handled in-house. And if that is a problem and it's not being talked about and it is something that they are handling in-house, then let it be in-house. And kudos to Jerry Jones. Kudos to uh, Jason Garrett for not being sort of like Washington Redskins of old and letting your business hit the streets every time something goes down. But I think they just need to get off of Dez. Um, the guy has been a model for this team and a leader for this team. And like I said, without him, they could have bigger issues. And he was really a motivating factor in that win. And Dez will get back as soon as possible. He just needs to come back when he's healthy, depending upon what the actual injury is, because that's still up in the air as well. But man, let's stop trying to drag Dez down. Dez has been absolute great teammate and a great personality and a motivation for his team. So thank you so much for listening to the show. We'll be back with you tomorrow. We'll discuss some things there. And you want to hit me up, it's not Bland21 on Twitter. And hey, we'll talk to you tomorrow.